Okay, and we're back, I think. See if it stays stable or not. Maybe? Yeah, I'm back for now, it seems. Yeah, it seems, but looks to be deceiving. Anyway, let's get back to it. This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. I have to find them no matter what.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
We're numbered, but were they really used in that order?
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after. So, I wonder if or perhaps it was... We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Say that.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with
Justice while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka,
I wonder if or perhaps it was... We already know what order they were... Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Shit. Don't scare me like that, miss.
Shoot!
Fuck!
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before, perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
Shit!
Shoot!
Failed.
I refuse to give up yet.
That one is really hard.
So, regarding Taka's death,
I wonder if or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
so, regarding
So if it's
Taka's
not
death,
that,
I wonder if he died before Hifumi. Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that
Hifumi was killed while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi. Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
what?
What makes you say that?
Because of the number.
It's true that Hifumi, while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Hold
so,
on.
Regarding Taka, I wonder if he
Did
died
you hit it like
before
exactly in the
perhaps it was
word?
After?
We already know what order they were killed in.
No, that's not it. This is the only truth bullet I
regarding
have.
Taka's death,
I wonder if or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
What? So wait, what is it then? Because those are the only two. Those are the only two things.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder
And
if
this
he
is the only
died
truth
before
bullet I
Hifumi.
have.
Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka
Oh.
came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Hold on, I've forgotten about that one. Flashback.
It's
Okay.
true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3.
Oh
while Taka's
yeah.
death came from a swing of Justice
I
Hammer
had
4.
completely forgotten
See?
about that one.
So it's
Thank you,
obvious Taka
Jacob.
came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi. Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
There we go. Thank you, Jacob.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. There's something that relates to what time he must have died. His broken watch. Hangman's Gambit. Wristwatch. Wrist. 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 Watch. Watch. Shit.
Now I understand. I got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
It's 10 o'clock.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, Then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Yeah.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body. That's totally true! We're all in the clear!
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up!
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing. Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Or were you? Indeed. Or were you passed out? She was. Also, Genocide Jill only kills people in specific ways, so...
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway. In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi, or...
My
made
avatar
either
looks
of
so
their
happy
bodies.
because I'm like super intrigued about this. Cause like the whole mystery surrounding this particular case is like, holy shit.
On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing.
Because he wasn't dead
And
yet.
according to what Celeste said,
Could not have been gone for more than a minute or two though. Kid was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in a short amount of time.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the 3rd in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Yep. The bear did it. The bear doesn't kill though. He doesn't kill in these situations. He only kills if someone attacks him. And in that case, then there wouldn't be any mystery. Or like you said, he wasn't dead.
Are
Yeah.
you saying Hifumi
That's what I
wasn't
suspected.
carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
Of course it is! The idea that Fumi was still alive, is it really possible? Yes! Make your argument. Broken wristwatch.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us.
The body discovery announcement was for
Hifumi's dead
Taka.
body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
It was only made once, but Fumi and Taka's body was discovered at almost exactly the same time.
Are you saying that
Because
when
the
we
alarm
first
was for
found
Taka,
Hifumi
not
in
for
the nurse's
Hifumi.
office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
Whoops.
It is impossible.
Nope.
Hifumi was dead. Without it, and you know that surely.
I was
you
trying
heard
to do
body
the memory
Hifumi's
thing.
dead, and that is. Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Oh, I need to memorize hers.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office,
There's a chance you. No, Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announced Hifumi's dead body, and that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
There we go.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
Hi. Hey, Drago. Thank you for coming. He was dead. Why was he in the nurse's office? Well, because you missed a couple of things, Mayor. Because he had been initially attacked, but he was just injured. So we took him to the nurse's office to help him recover. And then, like, when we left the nurse's office, then someone came in and quote-unquote killed him. But it turns out he wasn't actually dead, he had left. You missed a couple of things, Mayor. But yeah, this all actually makes sense.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
Actually, that was plenty. He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Mm-hmm. The second body discovery announcement. The first time it was played when we found the nurse's office in the equipment room. The second time was when both the bodies were rediscovered.
We heard it a second time in the repository. when we rediscovered the two bodies.
A body has been found.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst
Shut up,
logic
Joe.
I have ever heard.
God, you are
Honestly,
useless.
I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
Yep. Fumi's glasses.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you
Coma?
compare
No,
his
that's
body
not
before
it.
being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Nope, there was. His glasses were clean. His glasses were clean, Mayor.
In fact,
The second
there was
time.
one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
It was... Glasses cleaning cloth.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right?
Wait, Hifumi was the fat guy? No! Yep. Fat guy is dead. The fat otaku.
And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few dishes is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What
What I'm
exactly?
saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
Indeed.
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
Indeed.
If he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
No, it wasn't. It was
The fridge
actually
in the
blood.
nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out. So he just dumped it everywhere.
But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
The one who moved Taka's corpse was Hifumi? Hifumi moved Taka's corpse?
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be
Taka
locked from the
was
inside.
Taka was the uptight, proper student guy. Was Taka alive too? No, Taka was actually dead. Taka had died a while before. He died like an hour before, like at least like about an hour before all of this went down. Taka was not alive. No. The repository door can only be locked
Which
from the
means
inside.
when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
The note.
I got it! You're talking
Why
about the
did Hifumi
note
do that? That would be
Hifumi had
explained.
hidden away,
Did he
aren't you?
commit suicide? Just wait for it, Mayor. All will be revealed.
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
His pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
See, then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro, and that person could only have been...
Taka.
I got it! That's right!
How would you commit
Taka.
suicide by hitting yourself in the back of the head with a hammer? Well, it is possible. It's very difficult, but it is possible to beat yourself in the head with a hammer.
The killer used this note to draw out Taka
But
and
no, that
murder
is
him.
definitely not what happened.
Hello! Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
What?
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right? Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
But still, I can't let her get to me. The red part in Taka's hands. Let's see. I don't think any of these. No.
Huffy had the note, right?
No. Well,
Then
yeah,
the
he
person
did.
it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Whoops. Shit. I forgot. Okay. No, it has nothing to do with TikTok. What happened at 6 a.m.? What happened at 6 a.m.? That's what I need to clear up. Oh, it is the broken wrist.
Puppy had the note, right?
Broken wristwatch.
Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy!
No, fuck! I know that you jump, but I want to stab you seriously, adorable.
Shoot!
It is the broken.
Right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy!
No, I'm trying.
But
No.
remember what the note said.
The color television, I got the achievement.
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, it's wrong! No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Thank you for joining in,
Someone used
Joe.
that note to trick Taka, just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster, telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
He had ripped it out of his hand.
No less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
He stole it?
Yeah.
Here's your proof. Go ahead, show us.
It's this. The ripped part in Taka's hands.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
He
Sorry,
isn't.
no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository, so he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus! Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
I think I'm starting to get this. Who killed the man in the locked door? In the locked room?
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either.
'Cause none of those Justice Hammers were used as murder weapons.
The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their
That
hands
insult
on
just
either
flew
of
over
the hammers?
Yasuhiro's head. Oh, I'm starting to love Yasuhiro.
Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The spotless hammer. It's the spotless hammer.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3?
No.
Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
No.
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Nope. Oh. Whoops, that was the wrong one. Shit.
Shoot!
I need to listen to this whole thing first.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3?
Maybe Justice...
Well, there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice
Nope.
Hammers.
No, he's wrong. The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
It wasn't... not completely different.
Seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder.
I know why.
So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
At least that's what we thought at first, but... I know why.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
Well, they probably killed him to stop him snitching. No, that's not it.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that 2 people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's 1 murder, right? In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
Simply impossible for 2 people to work together. Can you really say there's no chance 2 people work together on this? No, it's not.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that 2 people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's 1 murder, right? In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply
No, it's wrong! Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been 1 murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only 1 person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you.
Oh, don't worry, I got it, Mayor. No point in being someone.
However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
Because some of these things are a bit complicated. Sometimes, like what Jacob reminded me of, you have to remember one statement and then fire at another statement to break it. Sometimes you don't always have the truth bullet that you need to break a statement.
You're saying that 2 people could act as each other's accomplices to commit 2 separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating 2 separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful! How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Definitely to convince the 2 murderers were the same. What was the main characteristic this time? Not gonna lie, Makoto looks cute as fuck. He is the default anime protagonist after all. From the very beginning. Sitting at the look at this as a series of connected events with simply separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although he's almost too amazing. Almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now!
carrying out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. And based up to now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all of that, there's only one person who seems to fit. Someone who could have manipulated Hifumi. I have my suspicions.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea
Indeed.
that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the
say
investigation, there was
it.
certain behavior that was
Celeste?
common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
Because first of all, it would only have been a girl that Hifumi would have worked with. What is it that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? Encountering a suspicious individual.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Excuse me?
Sorry.
Don't
As he said,
apologize.
Only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving around the top of the stairs. Yep.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
What's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. A strange costume man. He ran off as I screamed. I was walking the stairs, so he had further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up. Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead.
I certainly was not expecting this. I didn't imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it! Everything! The whole thing was one big act!
Uh-huh.
You were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah? I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, But start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed.
Yep.
Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened, confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead.
Shit.
Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Jack said this last comment doesn't make sense, but what is he alluding to? Just like those guys died.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Whoops. Whoops.
Shoot!
Whoops, I did it in the wrong order. Wrong order, wrong order.
They must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die.
And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said
Now I
was...
got it.
They must really be enjoying the sight of us standing. They must be positively. We are all going to die here.
We are going to die, just like the...
Bang, baby!
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
Hifumi is fucking carrying him! Like, what the fuck, Celeste? This is not proof.
It has to be some kind of setup, right?
Yes, it is,
So
Yasuhiro.
let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away.
No, it isn't.
I told
It's a
you was
picture of
lie.
Hifumi
How
carrying
can this picture
Yasuhiro in a
exist?
robot suit.
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, There is no other explanation.
Other explanations? The only other possibility is Fumi and the suspect. If Fumi and the suspect are dancing, Fumi and the suspect have been drinking. If Fumi is dragging the suspect away.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Since you can prove that there's no way Fumi was dragging the suspect away. Is that really possible? Let's listen.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
No. Wait.
Shoot!
No, that was right. That was right.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out!
Because it doesn't bend at the waist.
Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
Alright. He said she couldn't bend at the waist.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous.
Oh, it's not the blueprint, it's just
As
the
you can
costume.
see in the picture, the
Okay, you
suspect
gotta
is
be like
standing
really
perfectly
specific.
upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight.
No, it's wrong! No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
Totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
I'm getting weird FNAF vibes here. I see what you mean, Mayor.
Well then, I
People being
suppose
stuffed
this
in the
is
suits
checkmate.
against their will.
Checkmate?
You lost your first game, Celeste.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Wow, the accent is just gone.
Celeste?
You had to have a break during stream, right? I left ages ago. There's no way you've only been online for an hour. Oh yeah, I did. Like the stream went offline like 3 times because Twitch is being a bitch today. Yeah, I've been going for like what, 5 hours maybe. See, wait, yeah, I started at 12. I've been going for like 6 hours. Oh yeah, and Jacob, he was making a connection between people being stuffed into suits against their will. Yeah, you're not going crazy, Gamma Tech. Nice to see you again.
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Who tried to kill you? Celeste is definitely my top 3 favorite characters. Yeah, she's still one of mine too, even after this. Hiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not?
Her accent is breaking.
He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense.
Yeah.
You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
He said people's last names. He gave everyone nicknames.
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name.
Chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation?
He gave nicknames, right? No, he didn't. He only ever called people by their last names.
No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Toko gives nicknames. Hifumi used last names.
No. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you?
Yeah.
Do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up!
My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
So I still won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. Show us your handbook! The voice actor does a good job of breaking accents and making her sound hysterical. I know, right? I fucking love it. E-handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something.
Show us your handbook.
He wanted us to know the killer's last name. Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me...
I do. Show us your handbook, bitch! I always wonder how long she spends getting ready in the morning with that makeup and those extensions.
That's it. The handbook.
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right?
Uh-huh.
Monokuma told us all about it before.
This handbook is absolutely vital to the healthy school life, so don't lose it. When you start up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. No, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Don't plead the fifth now.
Celeste,
I mean, not the fifth, but like whichever. Ooh.
can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
I bet she took someone else's handbook. No. It is against school regulations to borrow someone else's, to take someone else's handbook. So she couldn't have done that. Otherwise, Monokuma would have gotten involved.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes.
Oh boy, my favorite part, the comic.
That'll bring everything to an end.
It's against regulations to lend a handbook. This game is very particular with its words. Okay. So, that's Celeste. That's not part of it. That was from the last case. That's from the first case. I have to look through this. That wouldn't be it. Because it was 6. Yeah. That. Monokuma likes to do things like use ambiguous wording, yeah. That is so fucking gross. He took actual blood and sprayed it all over the place. And that's when Celeste takes the picture. I have to do this kind of out of order so that it makes sense to me. So I know for sure this was part of the first case. This is irrelevant because it's not 1 a.m. Actually no, that would be for Yasuhiro. This would be Yasuhiro because he was told to meet up at 1 a.m. Or maybe it's here. I remember picking up on the biker dude referring to the victim as dude when he first said it. I just assumed it was a typo from the devs, and later on it became relevant. And I was so proud I had noticed it at the time. Yeah. I think that. Maybe not. Maybe not. So I have a couple of chances to do this again. I think he put the Justice Hammer 3 there. Don't really. I'm not too confident in this one. Well, it's just the same before that he used. Justice Hammer 2. And I'm gonna have to do this one over, I feel like.
The killer is you! Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
Okay, that's good.
Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
1 a.m.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning.
Was Yasuhiro.
That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder.
Justice Hammer 4.
The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1
Oh, shit.
and the Robo Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we
And
bought
put the
the
wrong hammer
surprise
in there.
attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library.
Did I?
This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But
Oh, I didn't.
while we did that, we
Okay,
left
I
Hifumi
picked the right
alone,
one.
and this was exactly what
Whoops.
Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile,
I really want to fuck
the other
Makoto.
group
Is
that
that
had been out
bad?
searching
No, that's not bad at
found
all,
Taka's
Mayor.
body at the same time.
As long as you do it with consent.
So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan.
Wow, I
all
cannot
along
believe
was
I
to
got all
kill
those
Hifumi
right. I
and
thought
get
for
rid of
sure
the
I got
one
at least
person
like
who could
2 or
betray
3 of
them.
them messed up.
And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is... Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
She lost her first game. Complete.
Lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words?
Never.
They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen
Celeste.
to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko Yasuhiro.
So, you finally accepted it.
Well, she did go up against the ultimate lucky student. Wait, do they actually die or is it all a game? No, they actually die. Yeah, Mayor, you have apparently missed a lot.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
So she has lost before. I got an A. 103 mono coins, yay.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
Yeah, just you wait, Mayor. It's gonna be pretty brutal.
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Well, it's a done deal at this point. Yay! It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The blackened this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro!
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. Guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her specialty. Lying. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then...
Then did you use... you know... I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice, I used... her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but... it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Oh my god. Does she mean... is she talking about alter ego?
Say what?
What? What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How sad. So, what's going on here is that, okay, so Chihiro, who was the one who got murdered in the last case, she was the ultimate programmer. Well, he was the ultimate programmer, excuse me. He was the ultimate programmer, and he left behind a laptop with a program on it that is currently decrypting some files that will hopefully uncover the mystery of the school, so that maybe everyone can still escape. Celestia took that laptop because both Taka and Hifumi were super attached to the program. So she took it to like control them or blackmail them, whatever. But she's keeping it a secret from Monokuma because Monokuma does not know about that computer, about the program or anything that Chihiro was up to. So she is still giving the rest of everyone a chance to survive. Which is like, I'm conflicted right now.
In other words...
infatuated, I think, is the word you're looking for. They were both infatuated with it, yeah. Think you're the one that stole it?
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
And you used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually...
I was hoping I could talk to you. Alone. It was about what was stolen. I know who did it. What?
Are you okay with this?
It was Taka. He stole it. What?
So then...
And I have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I'd found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I showed it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him! But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either one of us got close to her. You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
As for me...
Please forgive me. He threatened me. He did?
As for me...
He came to my room last night unannounced, and then it's hard for me to even say. He abused me. Holy shit. Okay. Celeste is no longer my favorite character. Celeste is no longer my favorite character. That puts her right down at the bottom with like fucking who was that bitch in Rising of the Shield Hero? This is the same shit that she pulled. And that is like the most unforgivable thing to me.
What?
And he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice.
Nation.
That's a crime! An absolute crime! I never saw Shield Hero, unfortunately. Yet if you ever do get a chance to see it, Jacob, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Just because a character is sinisterly manipulative doesn't mean they can't be your favorite. A good character isn't necessarily a good person. But yeah, but like that particular thing, like there are some evil characters that I really love. Like Azula in Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's Fury King Bradley in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. There's like a lot of characters that are sinisterly evil, but like that particular like faking a rape charge, that just totally breaks it for me. Like the same thing with that particular character in Rise of the Shield Hero. Like that just completely broke it for me. Like I actually cannot stand that at all. Like rape is one of the most serious crimes imaginable, and faking it, like even in a fiction setting, that just makes it like absolutely not for me. I mean, I knew he got a little crazy, but I never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life. I'm going to kill him! I'm going to fucking kill him!
Most unfortunate.
Wait, please. If you go now, you will be playing right into his hands. Huh?
Actually...
Taka is planning to use her to escape. And he has made you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean... Taka's going to try to kill you.
Indeed.
And also he can keep her to himself. Oh my god. Indeed. That bastard! Bastard!
Honestly.
Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not! How could I? She...
I swear, I will save her!
I have to save her!
Actually...
Then, would you like to join with me? It just so happens, I have come up with a plan. I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete. What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Ifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love. Even if love as twisted as that can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Ifumi's creation?
Indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that. But it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But...
So, Why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. That's it?
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Straight and to the point, indeed. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But when you were explaining your plan to Ifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Ifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you had actually let him live?
Are you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did his part in pretending to be dead, once someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Well, of course, that wasn't all there was to it. As I explained to Ifumi, the plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Ifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Ifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly right up until the moment of his death.
so in the end,
So you had planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How can human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Don't be mean!
Now you sound like Byakuya!
I wonder about that.
No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then, what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape. But all along you've been saying how we have to accept living here.
You little bitch.
Obviously that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here. I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why? Huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. Of little boys, little black boys and little black girls. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
And it was all for that dream. What was this dream of yours?
isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. A castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers / bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Wow. Celeste, you are like a millimeter deep, aren't you? Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life, there was only one dream. There was my only dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. Is $10 million enough to buy a castle? I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to be done.
unfortunately, my dream has been scattered to the wind. Your satisfaction with this character just falling off a cliff, hitting every rock on the way. I know that it wouldn't have been that way if it wasn't for the fake rape charge. The fake rape allegation just like threw it straight out the fucking window. Like I love Celeste up until this point. I would even have been fine with that dream of the castle and everything. That wouldn't have broken it. It's literally just a fake rape allegation. That's all it was, seriously. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream till the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
do you understand?
That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes, indeed.
That's right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey,
You just get executed again. Celeste smiled then, and when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, but that statement itself must have been her final lie, and that weak fake smile is what betrayed her.
Kills! Chills! Kills!
You all done? Okay then, let's get rolling. The black can disturb the peace and must pay the price.
I prepared a very special punishment.
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
What?
This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again, in another life.
Let's see what's in store for Celeste. Well, she gets a European castle. The burning of the Versailles witch. Oh, shit. Even for her, this is too severe. No, that's not it. Getting burned alive is one of the worst ways to go. I won, but I'm not happy about it. It's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friend, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. And for him to just come along and... Isn't it just awful? He didn't burn her, he fucking rammed her. Yeah. Someone couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young! You need to place some value on your lives!
What are you gonna do?
Jeez, and here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do I care about hope? I'll throw it in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. And it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us? Oh, sorry. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us? God, I'm sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So anyway, Kyoko, did I see you get some kind of key type object from Celeste?
Hey, hey!
So, what's the deal with that?
What?
What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question, if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh.
What?
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh, how exciting.
Ah! Oh man, oh jeez. Oh man, oh jeez. What do you mean? What did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? The mastermind did something to Kyoko's body? Well, if you notice, all the executions are meant to be ironic. Celeste wanted to be a princess and be special. Burning her alive would have been a perfect way to go for her. But then Monokuma runs her over with a truck, a very ordinary and pedestrian way to die. Yeah. What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here.
Well,
Meanwhile, you guys can go on enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
see ya.
See ya! Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although it wasn't all despair, there was one small hope. Hey, Kyoko. Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's that key that Celeste gave you?
so...
Most likely, it's the key to one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
What? That means... Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey,
I'm going to go on alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later.
What?
Why? Why exactly are you going alone?
so...
Do you even have to ask? As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. Why you? There's still the risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You? Please, let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya.
well then.
Then, it's up to you now.
Yo!
I'm gonna go to the dining hall, okay? Huh? So Makoto and Kyoko are gonna go together? Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Good luck, Makoto. Girls like it. Girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little backbone. I try to forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Kyoko there alone.
Shall we go?
Yeah,
So then,
we need to get into that locker. Kyoko took the keys Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. As the locker swung open, we saw.
You really came.
Good morning. Sashibura da ne. It's safe. Thank goodness. I never heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time. Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please wait just a little while longer. So now we can officially say the case is closed. As far as this incident is concerned, sure, but can we take a second since we have this opportunity? I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me, what are you trying to do what are you trying to do all on your own here at the school?
You.
Is that why you want to come here with me?
However,
Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know? That just makes me even more worried.
What?
Worried? Like what happened during the investigation this time. You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that,
indeed.
it's only natural that they think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No! I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me? Isn't it obvious? People believe in their friends, right? That's why I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then...
That's fine.
Fine. I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see... What I heard from Kyoko then was... Well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I believe in her, she told me a story that was... well... almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she had told me with my own two eyes. So I waited for nighttime to come, and when it did, I went into action.
Correct.
Jess will probably die by Nightmare's hands. She wants to be a normal human, but is stuck bonded to a demon and became an SCP. Okay. I'm not sure where that came from. It came from there. I understand it, but I don't know why you brought it up. The boys' bathroom on the second floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor in it. And in the storage closet there, way in the back. She said it was way in the back in the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could Kyoko really be right about this? Hello. Hi, arty but weird. I love artsy people that are also weird. Hello. Thank you for coming. I don't think I've seen you before. You come at the tail end of the stream, so I think I'm about done with this chapter. Nope, I'm new. It's just a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. The secret Kyoko told me about. Could it really be hidden here? She said it was way in the back of the storage closet. But I mean, seriously? Without thinking, I placed my hand on the back of the storage closet, and suddenly, as if I were being yanked in, a secret passage. At the same time as I heard that sound, I fell to the wall. I had no idea what was going on. I had fallen to the back of the storage closet. Huh? It turned out, the back wall was like a revolving door, and I made my way to the other side, just like Kyoko had said.
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom on the second floor, there's a storage closet, and way in the back of that closet, there's a secret room. So this is the secret room. But what's in here? A lot, apparently. There's a bunch of files and what look like volume after volume of yearbooks. They're all covered in dust. Looking at everything, one file at the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Host Peak Academy Student Registry. This is the only thing in here not covered in dust. Has someone been looking at it recently? I slipped the file into my hand, but before I had a chance to take a look at it, a slip of paper fell out of the file, and I turned my attention to it. You must not leave. That's kind of weird. Wait, whose handwriting is that? I can understand if it said, like, I can't leave, but you must not leave? What is this? My head feels funny. It's a strange sensation. It's like deja vu? Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? What? A strange sound rang out through my head. I felt like it was shaking my brain back and forth. And then, darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over, and with that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it had been. All the files are gone? Ow, apparently something hit me, and I lost consciousness. That's all I understood. The dull throbbing pain in my head proved that much, at least. An empty bookshelf. Empty? Gone. It's all gone. The yearbooks, the student registry, and even the note that fell on the floor. It's all gone? What does this mean? But my brain refused to do any more work. The insistent pain in my head began to spread across the rest of my body. For now, I should go back to my room. Get some rest. My God. Yeah. So I have the theory that the reason that no law enforcement, like nobody has come for us at this point, because these are some quote-unquote high-profile children that have been kidnapped. So you think that someone would have broken into the school by now to come get us out. But I came in at a great time, concussion probably. But even deeper than that, Mary, even deeper than that, it seems like I'm thinking that there was some kind of like nuclear disaster, some kind of like world cataclysmic event that went on the outside, so that there literally is nobody left. There is nobody left to come get us. Like, we are the last surviving people. My body was heavy with pain, my mind heavy with thought. I dragged myself back toward my room. Somehow, I made it back to the first floor of the school. The farther I walked in, the more I felt. Things are getting blurry, can't see in front of me. I couldn't stop myself from collapsing right there, and after that... You're thinking way too into it, Mia. No, I think I'm thinking like exactly that much. Cause like, you haven't been following the events of this game, like as far as like I don't think you've been watching the stream as much. Otherwise, I think you would have be thinking the same thing too. Like the bolts on all of the doors. Why are all the windows bolted shut? Like, maybe is it because like there's nothing to see? Like maybe Monokuma doesn't want us to see the disaster that is going on the outside. And also there was the picture of Mondo, Chihiro, and it was somebody else. There was a picture of three of the students that have. It was Mondo, Chihiro, and Leon. They were in a picture together, and the windows weren't bolted. They weren't bolted, but they had met each other before the events, before they had gone to the school. But they were in the school, and the windows were not bolted. There were no plates on all the windows. So why is that? And also, so you think memory loss? Possibly, but memory loss is a result from what? And also, there are the magazines in the recreation room. And like we had asked Monokuma, like, oh, you gave us magazines. So are they gonna be updated as more issues become available? And Monokuma was like, unfortunately, no, these are all the magazines you get. Getting new issues is a bit, and we asked, is a bit what? And then he said, nope, I've said too much. And then he just ran away. So no new issues are being printed. So why is that? Why give us magazines? and then like not update them on current issues? Are there no more current issues to be had? I think he's probably the killer. Hence that blackout just then, not an attack. He's the killer, but that doesn't make any sense. Because the people that have been the killers, like they're the ones that have been getting killed. So that doesn't quite make any sense, Mayor. Like so far, Leon has been the killer, he's been executed. Mondo has been a killer, he's been executed. And Celeste has been a killer, who you just saw get executed. So that doesn't quite make any sense. As if from a vast distance I heard a sound. It was faint but undeniable. That sound is coming from the gym? As I desperately hauled my shaky frame toward the gym, the sound got stronger and stronger. What's going on? He's the mastermind. Just curious, since I just came in, who do you think the traitor is? He's orchestrated everything. Perhaps. That could be the case. That could be the case, Mayor. Like maybe Makoto is the spy, and he's like a sleeper cell. Just curious, since I just came in, who do you think the traitor is? Me personally, I think the traitor is Kyoko. But Monokuma did something to her that makes her not think, that makes her like not remember who she really is. You're about to learn who the traitor is, actually. Can't be nothing here in the gym? Why do you think he knows all the clues? Yeah, the ultimate lucky student. It's a good point. I didn't make a sound as I opened the doors of the gym. The sounds coming from inside, meanwhile, only intensified that much more. Bakyu! Paching! Bakya da da dun! Sha sha sha! What? Before me, there raged a battle beyond anything humanly possible. No, one side is not human, that's for sure, but regardless, I couldn't stop staring. I forgot to move or even breathe.
Why, you? What do you think you're doing?
This is a North Star reference.
I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
The deal?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret.
Yeah, don't fight the bear.
I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay, but you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? A hostage? Then could it be? The mastermind spy is... Sakura. Whoa, that definitely makes things a lot more interesting. I did not suspect Sakura. Sakura was like the one person I thought was beyond suspicion. Holy shit. The Super Robo Justice present, yay. Save the data. 3 is a crowd. And with that, dun dun dun! Indeed. And with that, we return to the main menu and end today's stream. Holy shit. This game was already going at full throttle, but it just like broke the throttle and like it's going like this is like Shinkansen speeds right here. This is a fucking bullet train. Who's being held hostage though? That I do not know. Maybe it could be like maybe her father. Maybe her father. I don't really know. But yeah, who's being held hostage? It's someone very important to Sakura apparently. That she would join forces. That she would be fucking Monokuma's spy, which means that Monokuma might already know about Alter Ego. That could be the case, unless Sakura is keeping that much a secret from him, and like she's holding out hope of escape. But yeah, holy shit. Oh, thank you for the follow, Artie but weird. Thank you. Welcome to the Minagawa. Thank you for that. But yeah, holy shit. I cannot wait to play this game again. Okay, my mind is just reeling right now, so I have to end things here. Holy shit. I will be continuing with this game next time on Dragon Ball Z. Floop Pog indeed. But yeah, holy shit. Speaking of emotes, I am about like 3 followers away from making affiliate, which is like holy shit, that's amazing. Like I got like so many followers like just in this stream, just in this one stream. When will we be streaming next? I'll be streaming tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but it's not gonna be this. I'm gonna be playing Resident Evil 4, as I'm very close to the end of that game, I think. So it won't be this. When will this game be streamed next? I'm not too sure about that. It will definitely be on a day off, because it probably won't be until next Monday then. Because Mondays and Tuesdays are my days off from my day job, and I like to play all the chapters I like to play the entire chapter at once. So yeah, the only time I would have to do that would be on my day off. So yeah, I would like to play it sooner, but I don't want to play a chapter part way through. I want to do the whole thing in one setting. But yeah, thank you everyone so much for joining me, and thank you for all the support. We are 3 followers away from the qualifications for affiliate. Good night. Thank you for coming, Jacob. Good night. Sleep well, my dude. And yeah, thank you for the support so much, everyone. Tomorrow will be Resident Evil 4, finishing that up. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join me for that. Please follow if you haven't already, so that you don't miss out on this awesome content. And until next time, Jamata.